President Mahama is clear. So far, you have seen that he's determined to fulfill all the campaign promises that he made to Ghanaians. And that includes the taxes that he promised that we will remove. And by the 11th of this month, when the finance minister comes to present the budget, you will realize that E-Levi will be gone, betting tax will be removed and all that.
Will COVID go?
COVID will go. I mean, they are the promises we made, and so we will deliver on the promises.
Channel 1 TV and Mr. Thomas Nyako Ampem, Deputy Finance Minister, and a former Finance Minister, Urasa Tepe, Etwetwe Nkomo, Abrana Economic Dialogue Forum no abawiye no mu. Na komodidie no mu no, Mr. Thomas Nyako Ampem, oye Deputy Finance Minister, editu dwase. COVID tax, E-Levi, any betting tax no, Owura ato Forsen, abra obeba be ready budget achire Ghana fo no na eniwo bio. Yenko na yenko tie.
Thank you. But before I come to that, I think the earlier question you asked my boss's boss, he mentioned the policy consistency, and his example was from when he was finance minister, and that is being followed through by his deputy, who has now become the finance minister. He spoke about the sinking fund, and today in Ghana, when you mention sinking fund, another name for it is Setekwe. I mean, people credit him for that.
Correct.
I think what you wanted to find out was from one party to the other.
Exactly.
How do we ensure that there is that consistency? That is why I feel that we should not relent in bringing the MPP on board what we have started today. Even though they are not here today, we must find ways to get them to buy into whatever consensus we will build here. Because I believe that it is important for them to be on board so that whether in the next 16, 20 years or whenever they get the opportunity to manage the economy of this country again, they don't deviate from the course that will give us the fastest growth that we are all looking for. Now, President Mahama is clear. So far, you have seen that he's determined to fulfill all the campaign promises that he made to Ghanaians. And that includes the taxes that he promised that we will remove. And by the 11th of this month, when the finance minister comes to present the budget, you will realize that E-Levi will be gone, betting tax will be removed and all that.
Will COVID go?
COVID will go. I mean, they are the promises we made, and so we will deliver on the promises. We have identified that there is a huge tax gap. The minister mentioned that there is a huge VAT gap. In fact, the medium-term revenue strategy that was prepared, document that was prepared, estimated that we have a 61% VAT gap. That means we are collecting only 39% of our potential VAT revenue. And so we are going to ensure that we bridge that gap, and that will make up for the losses that will make with the removal of the taxes.
That there could be a way in which we incentivize people to show that they have paid a certain tax so that you can do better tax enforcement. So it seems to me your policy is not so much new tax policy, but more ensuring that we are able to collect better. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yes.
Rationalization. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, I took a cue from what my minister said during his vetting, and I emphasize that. And conversations with him so far point to the fact that that is what he will be doing. And he mentioned already some taxes that were already there, but the previous government suspended it because of elections. I'm sure these are all avenues that we can use to rake in more taxes. And specifically, if you listen to him, he spoke about the economic rent from our extractive industry. That is something that we can take advantage of in order to bridge the gap.
My last question to you.
Part of the solution lies in what we were talking about, a moment ago. And let me just, you see, we're going to be rationalizing the taxes whilst you cut in taxes. Many of the taxes that have been reintroduced as levies, and yours truly was a VAT national coordinator, were actually taxes that the VAT replaced, right? And so if you have gone back and you are reintroducing taxes that the VAT replaced, and you are not doing better than the VAT, but rather you are being told that this is an impediment to VAT. Let me give you two quick examples. National Health Insurance Levy, Get Fund. They were introduced partly because of political difficulty, but they were 2.5% each of VAT, and they were collected as though they were VAT. And the reason you collect them as though they were VAT, quite apart from increase the VAT, is that businesses, right, like your entity, it's not a consumer. So when you buy, inputs like this equipment we are seeing here, you have the right to offset the credit before from the advertisement, revenues on which you had imposed the tax. Now, when you remove these two from the VAT base, you block that credit to business. What does it happen? What happens? The VAT is added. What used to be credit and refund is added to your cost, and we say it cascades, because for as long as that somebody advertising agent is not, also the consumer, it just keeps increasing, and then you have evasion and avoidance. So when you rationalize and you bring back, the Get Fund and the NHI as VAT, and you give business credit, you minimize evasion and avoidance. And then when you introduce another tax measure, which is the ITAX, which was suspended, should have been done about 10 years ago as phase 2, right, of ICOMs. And let me use VAT again to illustrate this particular point. The bulk of credit that is taken for VAT and refund is actually import VAT, right? Now, that import VAT is sitting in ICOMs because it was collected by customs. But there is no domestic tax system, which would download that information and say that, Bernard, paid VAT of 100. So if Bernard is claiming that VAT as input tax credit and he's claiming 120, it means that he's cheating the system with 20, right? So it is not just sending people into the field. And so we need the ITAS. Right. And that's a top priority and that is the rationalization plus reform. And we will definitely
if we do that, we will raise enough domestic resources, irrespective of the uncertainty of donor support.
Yes, but because we need to generate domestic revenue.
Wonderful.
As subsidy, that's one of the,
it's an ongoing conversation. We are here at the sidelines of the National Economic Dialogue.